What's up? What's up? What is up, everybody? Hello, and welcome to Critically Aroused, the podcast where we ask, do we even need movie critics? And then we review a movie. My name is Blaine Andrews, and if you were listening to the earlier portion of today's review, then you know that it's actually not Matt and Chris with me today. Sydney's finally back after like a year.
Hi.
Not really a year, but pretty close to it.
Waterbugs.
And Chris.
And Chris. Yeah.
Here.
So Chris is here.
Yeah, Chris is here.
Hello.
And if you're watching on video, hi. But yeah, so
That was such a Matt thing. You just
I know
did.
it was. It was.
Hi.
I was channeling him. We miss
Miss
him
you,
so
Matt.
much.
Yeah.
We miss you, Matt. You're close in our hearts.
Always.
But yeah, so today we're going to be reviewing Tom and Jerry, the film that is written, or well, it's directed by Tim Story, who you know from films like Barbershop and Fantastic Four.
Okay.
So
Okay.
And Taxi.
yeah, and Taxi, yeah, not Taxi Driver.
No.
Just Taxi.
Just
What's taxi?
And
It's got-
the most recent Shaft reboot,
Oh, okay.
which
forgot that
did
they
not do a whole
rebooted
lot.
that.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
didn't do good.
Queen Latifah. Taxi. And
Oh.
that and the
I thought
late
you were saying
night-
she was Shaft. I was like, I would watch Queen
I would-
Latifah as Shaft.
totally watch that.
Latifah,
You kidding
not
me?
Shaft.
Right. So outside of it being directed by Tim Story, it's starring Chloe Grace Moretz, the lady who Chris says has eyes that are far apart as of last weekend.
Just stating facts. Not saying anything negative about it.
He couldn't remember her name, so he said the girl with the eyes.
Yep,
Yeah, and the always glorious and wonderful Michael Pena, and Rob Delaney with his fantastic stash, and randomly speckled in there Ken Jeong.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the main cast as far as people you're going to recognize.
Also
in this
Tom
film.
and Jerry are in
And
it.
Tom and Jerry starring as themselves, according to IMDb.
I love that they actually put them in.
They called them Thomas and Gerald, right?
Yeah.
And then they actually did that in the credits.
Jerome.
Gerard
Or
or Jerome.
Jerome.
You both
Yeah.
were wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jerome.
You right.
Yeah, they made it sound like that was like the official names in the credits. So I don't know, was that always was
I
he
don't
Jerome?
think so. No.
I feel like they made that up for this movie.
they did.
It was just the character that what's his name was playing.
Yeah,
Like he was a little eccentric.
yeah, Rob Delaney.
A little stiff. A little stiff.
Yeah, so, and this movie is, we talked about it in the other portion of the podcast, but it's launching on HBO Max, and we've done, The Little Things was actually the first one of this new batch of theater-worthy movies that is coming to HBO Max. So, basically, we will be probably doing more of these throughout the year, like Godzilla and The Matrix, which no one's even seen a trailer for. What else? We talked about it earlier. Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah.
And so we'll be doing a slew of these HBO Max movies that are also in theaters. And this was supposed to be a big theater release, and it's just right here at home. And actually, the three of us watched it with Sydney and my our youngins. So, which also, as obviously you know, it's a Tom and Jerry movie, so this thing's rated PG. And so this review, unlike our other portion of the podcast, is going to be rated PG, just, you know.
Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah, I wanted to remind both of you, PG.
I did forget.
Yep.
It's rated PP.
Yes, PP.
Rated
It's
PP.
So yeah, this is a PG movie, so we're going to try and keep it PG. So if you want to listen to this review with the kids around and stuff, you can. It is safe, hopefully.
It's a safe space.
And Matt, and usually Matt's the one that screws that up. So
Yep.
yeah, he's not
true.
here. So hopefully we'll keep it.
We've all
between
done
the
it.
lines.
We've got our fair share.
You're right.
You know?
You're right. Yeah. Well, yeah. It's usually this one's going to be rated PG, and then we start, and within like 2 minutes, one of us cusses, and then we're like, "This is PG-13 or rated R." So
There was one that you literally like out the gate.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
like, this is rated PG, but boop.
yeah, and then like started like dropping some dirty words, wordy dirts. So yeah, but we're gonna talk about Tom and Jerry, guys. So now we're gonna get along with just the normal format of our movie reviews. So none of us have seen.
We're not getting along. I can just feel it.
No, we're not gonna get along at all.
As normal.
Yeah, so we're gonna do. None of us have seen any trailers or anything for this. These guys didn't even know it was a movie till I told them that they were gonna watch it.
Sure did not.
And so we hadn't seen any trailers. We don't know anything about this. We like to come in unsullied, completely clean on these things. So, what was it
Game of
Matt
Thrones?
said the other week? A clean wipe. So,
Oh, I actually saw that and I laughed. That was pretty
yeah.
funny, guys.
oh, Matt.
Matt.
Matt. Yeah, so We hadn't seen this movie though. So as far as this goes, who do you guys think? Because we do a who should and should not see, which is basically just what this movie's like. So what do you guys think that this movie is like outside of, there's one that's popping into my head. You know, you've got the likes of Space Jam where it's like animated
good
movie.
one.
Enchantment.
Yeah,
Or is it
Enchanted.
Enchanted. Yeah.
Enchanted,
There's another
yeah.
live action.
Yeah, it's kind of like those.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, Who
was,
Framed
like,
Roger
waiting.
Rabbit?
Yep.
Kind of.
Right?
I mean,
Not that it's necessarily like that, but
Right.
as
It's
far
not
as
as adult as Who Framed
No,
Roger
goodness,
Rabbit,
no.
but it incorporates that like real
It's-
life and the animation as well as
Yeah.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
I will say that it is like if you've watched the cartoon show, it does a very good job of emulating that precisely. Like there's
yeah.
literal like replications of things that they've done in the TV show that I remember from being a kid.
For sure.
Oh,
like-
tons of that, yeah.
So many of them. So if you enjoyed the TV show, or if
Yeah,
your
the
kids
cartoon.
enjoy it, the actual cartoon show,
The Looney Tunes style
right?
programs from back in the day.
Hijinks.
Yes, the
Shenanigans.
beating the snot out of each other,
Yeah.
shenanigans of those type of movies. It definitely does incorporate that. Now you do get also your live action stuff with the regular characters that aren't the animated ones
Yeah.
as well in this, but those are a good way to compare it if you're into those type of things. But more than anything, and this is the big thing that we do that I feel like a lot of people don't do, is with these kids movies, most of the time we end up seeing them with my kids so that we get a gauge on how kids react to it. So we will be able to kind of get through that a little later on in the review, but it's like it's a Tom and Jerry movie for kids. So
Pretty straightforward.
yeah, like kids are gonna like Tom and Jerry beating the crap out of each other.
I would say if you're looking for something like this that had like Who Framed Roger Rabbit that has like a lot of adult humor,
Yeah, it's not
like
that.
snuck in, that's not what this is.
No, but
That's true.
Yeah, but that honestly, especially nowadays,
I was refreshed by that.
Is refreshing in that nature. Like this is a movie that is safe for your kids to watch.
Yeah.
and you don't have to worry about.
I was happy I
endless-
didn't have to look at my 7-year-old and like see if she understood some like gross.
There was
adult
one
comment.
weird little joke. I don't remember what it was, but there was one. But it wasn't that obvious, and I can't even remember what it was.
Well, the
But
thing with the photocopier, like
yeah.
I don't know,
yeah.
Dylan kept making. She was like,
Well, that's because
It's 'cause it's a butt.
there's a
It's a
scene
butt.
where they like replicate like photocopying your butt
Yeah.
and like printing it. And my
But it's
kids
a
have-
mouse.
my
It's not a
kid-
person.
It's a cartoon doing it, and my kids have literally done that before.
They did
on
actually
their
do
own.
it.
No one told them
Yeah.
to do it. They started photocopying their
Naturally
hands. They
occurring
just naturally
event.
are
Beautiful.
like, what about our butts?
perfect.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
So outside of that, we are going to go ahead and talk about our Rotten Tomato scores. So that's what we do, is we try to guess what the critics think, what the audience is going to think about these movies, and get a gauge on, those impressions. And then at the very end, we'll get a reveal and see if we were right at all. So I'm going to keep up with what you guys have to say. So have you thought about this at all, as far as what the critics might think?
I just did.
I literally
just this
haven't.
moment
Yeah.
right now.
I don't know how the critics usually like receive
Nobody does.
animated films.
We've gotten a little better, actually, since we've started doing this.
I
You
feel
especially have.
My instinct
you.
is that they like them.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah. That they like what?
Animated.
Animated stuff.
But this is
no,
live
not
action,
always.
though.
This
so
is a
it's
little different,
kind
too.
of a mixed bag.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing, like I was saying, was we try to approach it from not only our perspectives, but like how it is for kids, and if kids like it, and if it's good for kids and whatever. When we review them, we try to approach it like that. I don't think a lot of critics do that.
Yeah.
They tend to just come at it like, this is what I think about it, this is how I feel about it. It's like, well, this movie wasn't made for you, bruh. Like like it was made for a 7-year-old who likes fart jokes. Like,
True.
granted, I like a good fart joke or two, but
I like a good one as well.
so anyways, so Sid, what do you think the critics are going to think about this movie?
Is this a score of 1 to 100?
Well, okay, so this is around the
Reminds me.
percentage that you think that it will have on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, this system is broken, super broken, but what do you think that the Rotten Tomatoes score among all critics, like what percentage of them will like it or not like it, however you want to look at it?
I'm just going to go with 70.
A 70 from critics?
Yeah.
Okay. And from audience?
An 87.
87. Okay, interesting. Chris, what do you got?
I'm going to say 50 from critics.
I think Chris is a little closer to accurate.
And audience, I'll give it a 63.
Chris he's getting good at this, man. I feel like maybe I'm totally wrong, but I'm feeling where he's started more and more. You started guessing where I'm like aiming. So,
but don't you always go last? So aren't you getting?
I don't always go last. No, I don't. Always
if he
go
cheats, he goes first.
That is true. That is true. He's right.
Even though we both cheated last time.
Yeah, we both cheated
by accident. It was actually Blaine's fault.
It was
100%.
I take responsibility. So I think Chris is pretty solid with this. All right, fine. I'm just going to even go lower. I'm going to guess a 42 from critics.
Okay.
And
hey, you do it, bro.
From the audience, I'm going to say a 55.
All right.
So
that's fair.
Middle of the road for both from me, but clearly we all think that the critics are going to like this a little less than the audience is.
Yeah.
As far as what we're guessing, which would make sense for something like this. This is one of those where I would expect to even... This is one where you could potentially see a blowout, where you could have like a 20 from critics and then something in the low solid tomatoes, like a 70 or something from audience. Like it's that type of situation.
Right. Which we can talk about whenever we get into the
It's just critics
review,
can be...
There is a reason I feel the same way.
Yeah, critics can be randomly brutal about stuff too, so like... There's that. But anyway, so yeah, from this point on, we're going to move into spoiler territory. So anything we say from here on out, if you haven't seen the movie, it's going to be spoilers. But if you don't care about that, then,
keep on keeping on.
Yeah, keep on listening. So starting now, guys, spoilers. Yeah, there we go. So Sid, you probably... haven't been here since we've done it, but so how we handle it now is we actually just basically right out of the gate, we all kind of just talk about if we liked it or not, and then we get into more of the spoilers. So why don't you go ahead and let us know, like, did you like this Tom and Jerry movie? Like, or can you say that you liked it?
Just a yes or no?
Yeah. Well, I mean, did you like it? Like, would you recommend it? Would you watch it again?
Well, I watch old cartoons.
Yes. Well, that's part of why.
Regularly.
Yeah. Like, I wanted you on for this movie specifically for that reason, because you're kind of a balancing factor, because none of us are even as much into... You are actually...
I'm not going to say as much. For sure,
not as much as her.
I'm basically Jim Carrey from The Mask.
She loves the old stuff. Like, she watches Hanna-Barbera cartoons constantly, and I don't care about them at all.
Yeah. So that being said, I'm like, if there's such thing as a like hoity-toity cartoon freak, that would be me. I liked it.
You're a cartoon snob.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a snob. Thank you. Hoity-toity snobs is
Hoity-toity's better, but
it's a little better, but yeah. So I would say I liked it, but it's just hard for me to like see anything modern combined. Like I'm a snob about it. Like I'm like, eh. So, but I did like it. I thought there were some moments that, like, at the very beginning, when you start out a movie with "Can I Kick It" by Tribe Called Quest, you're really setting up a tall order for yourself.
It's a solid intro, though, regardless.
It was a great intro. Yeah. I do want to comment that there's a lot of movies, including Peter Rabbit, that have just these birds singing all the time.
It is just like Peter Rabbit. It's weird.
It is.
He ripped off Peter Rabbit.
It kind of did. There's something else that does that, too. So I'm just like, what's the
birds are notorious
there?
For singing.
It is true.
And they're not real, so...
Correct. They're also the stupidest people.
Birds are the stupidest people, if you did not know. And they're not real, if you didn't know that either. They're also not real, and the stupidest people.
That's why they're all animated.
So yeah, it set up a tall order for itself, and I was a little skeptical, and as the movie went on, I liked it more and more.
Okay.
Despite the fact that I am a vintage cartoon nerd.
Would you watch it again?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
How do you feel like regarding kids? Do you think...
I think it was great for kids. Okay. I constantly worry about things being too adult, and in 2021 kids pick up on things that we didn't pick up on when we were kids. Like, there's movies we watch back from when we were kids where I'm like, I didn't pick up on this joke at all, but I know that my 7-year-old's like, that's about kissing and being married, and I'm like, oh no. So yeah. As far as kids, I thought it was great for that reason.
Cool.
Yeah. I talked to Dylan after the movie ended, and she said she liked it a lot, and the butt part was her favorite. That was
Okay,
her
that's
quote.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed
yeah.
it.
That was her quote from the movie. So she did say that. And the fart part. So the
Good.
butt part and the fart part.
Yeah,
So
good.
also a butt part. But yeah.
butt
So so Chris, how about you?
Yeah, it was good. I will definitely agree that as it went along, I enjoyed it more. I was very skeptical at the beginning of the movie, and it kind of felt like cheesy, but I mean, it is a cartoon for kids, so obviously I have to take that in consideration. But definitely as the movie went along, like, it was good. Yeah, I liked it as an adult.
Interesting. Yeah, I was curious. You're always kind of the wild card with this stuff. Like
Yeah.
like you're always the one I never quite know.
Wild card.
He is. I never quite know where he's going to be.
You are the Charlie Day of our group.
Yeah, God. What is he
Can't avoid
doing?
it.
You are.
It's true.
So, as far as it goes with me, I didn't love it. It was fine. Like, it was a fine kids movie.
Yeah.
Like, it was great for kids, is what I'll say. Like,
It was a fine kids movie. It was great for kids.
Yeah,
It was good for kids. Not for me so much.
no,
Or
I
just
didn't.
Donald Trump right
no,
now.
right. Yeah, right. Yeah. So I was trying to think about how to do it to
Just
kind
ask
of
anybody.
to talk about it, because it's like I actually warmed up on it as it went along, and that was something that we were talking about in the previous other podcasts that we did today with the streaming and everything. But this was kind of vice versa, where instead of being ruined on the back half, I actually thought the back half of this movie was substantially better than the front half.
So you,
I
like, as we
know.
said.
Yeah. So yeah, it did. It got better as it went, and there were some things like, I mean, this wasn't like your 10 out of, because there are those like 10 out of 10 just great kids movies. This wasn't that to me. And even like you mentioned Peter Rabbit. Peter Rabbit's awesome.
Peter Rabbit is 10 out of 10.
Peter Rabbit is a really good kids movie. Have you seen it?
Maybe.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
he
I've seen it
watches
like
Chris. No, Chris
800
watches
times.
kids movies by himself all
No,
the time.
honestly, I don't think
Yeah.
I have.
Oh
Are you talking
my
about
God.
the old one?
No,
No,
the new
the
one with
new-
James
Oh.
Corden, who I don't even like, but God, it's good.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's the worst.
No,
but,
I don't like him either.
I wouldn't say he's the worst,
Well.
but he is bad.
Yeah.
He bad.
But
Not like Michael Jackson bad, but
No.
like bad.
yeah. It was actually very good.
Okay. Wait. Nope.
It's
Nope,
live
I haven't seen
action.
it.
He's Peter Rabbit, but it's a very good movie. Like, it wasn't that level of movie, and which also not live action, but like for me, like I think about other kids movies we reviewed, like Onward. Like, I adored Onward.
Dude, Onward
Like,
was
this was
good.
not,
but that was
Onward.
also fully animated.
It was
Pixar.
Yeah, it was Pixar.
Like, it's hard to match Pixar.
It is. So I mean, but it was neat to see a movie like this where it's like live action and animation together, kind of mashed up. Like, I really liked Who Framed Roger Rabbit and those type
Oh,
of movies.
same. Love it.
Like Space Jam's awesome.
The Mask.
And, yeah, The Mask, which The Mask is definitely more leaning towards adult.
There's some great integrated animation in the mask.
there
like
is.
it is so underrated from that standpoint.
I don't know. I mean, people really like The Mask, so
It's so good.
yeah.
People really do like The Mask.
Yeah, The Mask is great. So, I mean, this isn't a perfect movie, but I think it's fun. I think that kids are going to like it.
It doesn't deserve to be compared to The Mask.
I mean, probably
It doesn't deserve it.
no.
It's a totally different
It is.
genre.
It really
Like-
is.
It didn't do anything to us. It
It's
doesn't
not
deserve it.
specifically
But, like,
a kids movie.
I don't think that it's as good as like Space Jam either, which I think that
No,
it is in
well,
the
it
ballpark
can't.
with.
Like, it doesn't deserve to be compared
Sure.
to Space Jam either.
But like when the movie ended, I mentioned to Chris, I'm like, this makes me really curious what we're going to get with the new Space Jam, because like it or not, like as far as how this movie was, Space Jam, at least we know, is going to look really cool, because this looked really good.
Yeah, it did look cool. They did a really good job with the animation.
Yeah, and like real world things happening with these animated creatures, like a byproduct of them smashing into things or crashing around and having the, what did they call it, the tornado, which was like they did very cartoony things in this real world of like the cartoon tornado of these creatures.
I like that. It took a minute to get immersed in the like wacky world of Looney Tunes.
Yeah,
Right.
Like, because it started straight out with like anvil type like injuries
Right.
and stuff, and you're like, whoa, I just got thrown into this world of like absurd injuries. But then as the movie went on, you just kind of realize, well, this is what Tom and Jerry do. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
okay, I'm cool with it.
I would say, like, in the first 5 minutes, whenever, like, it's probably the funniest portion to me is when the lady that's listening to Tom play the piano, and she's like, "No, he's not blind. She's just a regular cat playing the piano." I don't know why that it just tickled
You're
me.
like, this because it's a real thing in this world. A cat playing a piano, like it's just a run of the mill. But like, can I say still? Now I'm not a big Tom and Jerry fan. I honestly don't even really like these old. Like I'm not a big like Flintstones or whatever. Like I just don't care. I know.
Heartbroken.
Like I just don't care. But like, no, I mean, you give me like some old school Spider-Man or something, like I'm all about it. But like, it still annoys me that they don't talk.
Sure.
Except for apparently,
you would have hated it if they talked. It would have been lame.
It probably would have, but like that always aggravated me as a kid, and it still aggravates me as an adult.
No, because that's why the music is so important. Like in those old cartoons, that orchestral music.
Oh, that's a good point.
Is what makes it, and they maybe failed to integrate that a bit with this movie. Now that you mention
Actually, no. So it's funny you saying that triggered a thought for me, which was what I remembered I was going to say about this movie. Was that there was a ton of music in this movie? I don't know if you caught it. Like,
but it wasn't orchestral. Music.
No, it wasn't orchestral, but like there was a lot of music.
There was something I was going to say about that. Is I felt that it's so like reverse in my mind, and it's hard to wrap my brain around, but at the same time I understand it. Is that they're starting to put like rap in a lot of kids movies. Like I can understand like kids liking it because it's like fun, there's a good beat, like the lyrics can be fun, but like just from growing up
regularly there's vulgarity,
like rap is the section of music that shouldn't be for kids.
Well,
I mean, unless you listen to Wu-Tang Clan, which it's for the kids, but it's just funny to me that they're like doing that more and more, which I can totally understand because it's
fine, like
I think your kids really
they
my
do.
kids listen to rap all the time.
Right, exactly.
But you've got to play the edited stuff, like, and that's the hard part. Like, and
It's
was
not
edited.
always edited for them.
I mean, you try, but like,
I'm just
it's
gonna
not
be
always.
honest.
We're recording.
I'm just being honest.
Well, so
I'll
that's
be like, oh, that's a bad word.
it is funny that you say that because it's like I kept it was like a lot in the beginning, and there was like this weird moment where I was expecting like one of the Tom and Jerry style characters to cuss. And because like there was just all this rap going on, and like I was just like, someone's gonna cuss, someone's gonna say a bad word in this kid's movie, like something's gonna happen. Like it was just a vibe I got. Like I was like they're editing out this cuss word, like because I'm listening to the song, I'm like singing in my head, I'm like, this is the part where they say those words, and like I'm like, someone else, oh my god, someone's gonna cuss in this kid's movie, like, and then it didn't happen. So
really
it was just it was a weird thing, like, and I got past it. It happened in the first like 5 or 10 minutes, but like it was just a weird moment for me.
Yeah, it's strange. Like it's just a weird contrast from what I grew up with,
for sure.
But I can totally understand it because we grew up in the time of like boy bands and like Britney Spears. Like that's the type of music that was in all the kids shows of like, that's what they thought kids wanted and what we enjoyed as kids. But now it's like all rap stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm about it. Like,
for sure,
do it.
So yeah, it was just a weird thing.
What my kids want, I don't know.
I know,
right?
Well, either that or like hardcore rock, but
like System of a Down.
Yeah,
they're not satisfied if it's not rap or System of a Down.
But there was like I now that you mentioned that all the Tom and Jerry movies having or shows, whatever, having a bunch of music, it makes all the music in this movie make more sense. It's like you got to fill in that void when these characters aren't talking. And for a while, I was like, why are there all these songs? Like, I feel like they're just putting all these songs in this movie to make like a really dope playlist. But like,
no, it's because they're trying to incorporate the music and probably
and do it in a modern way.
The director wanted to do what Tom and Jerry did with music, and he wanted to do it in a new way. And again, going back to starting the whole movie with Tribe Called Quest, and that song in particular, like, you could tell he had ambition for this as a playlist, like as a piece of art. Like, you don't start a movie out like that if you're not serious about that.
I mean, you think it's the same dude that directed Barbershop, so like, of course, like obviously he would start with like some tribe songs and some really awesome rap songs and stuff. Like he's directed these cult classic movies, and
It's really culturally important.
Yeah, and so it was definitely a different vibe than I was expecting from this movie, but I think that it works. And
Especially since it kept it so clean.
yeah.
And, it was a feat. I mean, I would say.
It was.
It
And I
deserves
mean,
to be praised for that reason.
It does for some of those reasons, and I think the critics are going to be really hard on this, for sure. But I don't think that matters when a kid's watching it,
No.
So it's like, whatever.
It's
but
fun watching something like this with children.
It
They're
is.
just like,
they make it funner. They make it more fun for sure. But it is one of those things where there was like some pretty bad writing and some pretty bad there was a couple moments where I was just like, but at the same time, kids don't notice and they don't care, and this is a kids movie, so whatever.
I noticed a couple things like that. I know. I always notice bad writing.
Yeah.
I'm always like, why did you do that? Like, there was one moment where she could have said worthy adversary, and instead she said worthy contender or worthy. She didn't say adversary, and I was like, why didn't you just say adversary?
Maybe it's just because the director knew that kids wouldn't know what that word was, so they wanted to give them a word to understand.
Maybe.
Or that they knew, so...
Yeah.
I'll pick up on little things like that.
I'm on board with that, because I am not on board with, it does aggravate me when they have, kids' movies and they're using, a lot of words that kids aren't going to understand. I'm like, this just flew right over my kid's head. They have no idea.
Or when I'm speaking to our kids.
You do that too. I'm like, they don't know what you're saying. They have no idea the words that are coming out of your mouth.
Teach them new words.
You can teach them new words,
There
for
you
sure.
go.
So, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, is there any really... I don't know how much in depth you really need to talk about this movie. I mean...
Well, I've got some things I want to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to try to sound something funny, but it doesn't matter. Okay, but no, seriously, about this movie, though. Michael Pena, fantastic.
Yeah, he was very good.
Funniest part of the movie. As a whole,
He's a gem.
He is.
A national treasure.
Does great things. I did notice that I didn't pick up as a kid... But Jerry, and I can't even say the word I want to say, he's a bad person.
He's the worst.
The mouse?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a little...
Yeah,
He's a
I
turd.
can't say the word, but he is not good. He no bueno. If it wasn't for him,
He's
poor
a
Tom.
selfish turd.
Yeah.
Poor Tom is just, in
Tom
New York,
is just very
trying to make a
incompetent.
living. Playing piano, and Tom or Jerry's just like, oh, I'm gonna go blank with this
Ruin your
person.
life.
I'm gonna go mess everything up and steal your money. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. He's a jerk.
Why are
And
you
Tom
so
is
mean?
unfortunately pretty incompetent too.
It's true.
So.
Jerry's picking on a handicapped person essentially. What are you doing? This is terrible. So, anyways, I've now
can agree
learned
with that.
Tom is the good person in this scenario,
He really
Yeah.
is.
or the person you should sympathize with, and Jerry is the bad person. This is hard. PG is hard.
It is very hard.
Jerry's
And I
the
did
bad guy.
like how they kind of made them throughout, two different parts where they're like, oh, they're going to be friends now and be nice to each other. I liked that. I'm like, it's nice to see this in Tom and Jerry.
I have another thing I want to say.
Yes.
There was a moment where, okay, so Chloe, are we in the spoiler part?
This whole thing's been
yeah.
spoilers.
Okay, so Chloe Moritz's character, so there was this human story going on.
Yeah, with Chloe.
That we haven't really talked about much, but
Yeah.
she basically stole the job of another girl who had earned the right to have the job that she had, or at least go out for the job that she had. She had
Sure.
a really impressive resume. She had all of this experience under her belt, and Chloe Moritz basically stole her resume and stepped in as her.
Literally.
And literally, she actually, yes, not basically, literally. And so later in the movie, I was super excited to see her say, hey, I thought that I could just fake it. As long as I claimed to have all this experience and she was like, I realized I had to do the work. And I was like, thank God a movie in 2021 is talking about how it is actually better to do the work and be proud of the effort that you've put into something than just trying to take from someone else or to put someone else down to make yourself better. Unfortunately, that's not the norm in 2021, in my opinion.
No, I agree.
And I was super excited to see a punchline and a moral of the story in a movie for kids.
An actual moral.
Yes, a moral of the story. And the fact that she even went back and apologized and said, so I lied.
She just
And made it
owned
right. Yeah, she did.
Owned her mistake.
And then moved past it.
Right. And tried to reconcile.
And bettered her life. And as a result, got a job out of it. Like,
Yes. True.
Like at the end, he was like, I'll see you at work on Monday or whatever. Like, even though she caused all these problems, like, granted, she
cost that place.
Well, but really, she did.
$100,000.
Michael Pena did because he's the worst. Like, really, he's the one.
Our kid was like, "Wait, this is all that dude's fault."
Yeah, she did. She's like, it's all his. She didn't do this. This is his fault.
And even Dylan was like, she's doing a bad thing. Like, whenever she was lying,
when
she was lying constantly through like the first part of the movie.
Yeah, my kid was like, "Oh, that's
not okay.
wrong what she's doing," and so she got to see this character like say, "You know what? It's not enough to just steal some like information and say that I did it just because I think that I have the skills or I have what it takes to fake it. Like, no, you need to put in the hard work. Like, that's what it takes. This is reality."
Right.
It's great for kids to see that because it's really not something they see that often, in my opinion, in some of the kids shows that I've seen. Yeah.
And that's honestly why, or one of the reasons why I don't think the critics are going to give it a great score.
Oh, yeah.
Not necessarily because of that reason, but it feels like that.
It feels like it would tangentially be because of that.
Right,
like,
because
we don't like this.
And that's another reason thinking I was going to bring up is that, like, this movie, why I thought that you were going to like it or comment on it more, is that there wasn't anything preachy about this
I completely
movie, like,
agree
at
there.
all.
Yeah, no,
like,
there wasn't.
They were making some comments, but he was almost like jovial when they were like, when she was talking about, he or she, the mouse,
Yeah. Oh,
and I think
I'm not biased on
it could be a female mouse,
I love that part.
Yeah, I did too. I think even Michael Pena was like a gender fluid mouse or something like that.
He's like, it's fine.
Which to me, like, struck me as like something strange for them to say.
But it was like subtle enough that it's like, yes, this is reality. Most people don't care, and they are kind and love others.
Exactly.
Like, they're like, I don't care either way. Like,
but I could see that as being portrayed as like an attack of like making fun of gender fluid people.
It didn't come across like that, and it didn't come across preachy in the opposite
critics
direction.
will.
But that's why I'm thinking,
we've seen critics take stuff like that very sensitively,
and the fact that they weren't preaching something.
Yes, this is definitely a non-preachy movie, and you're definitely right on with that, and that is honestly something that goes a long ways with me with this movie. Like, I wasn't necessarily crazy about it. Like, I wouldn't really watch it again.
It's not great, but at least it wasn't bad.
But
we would put it on while we're like cleaning up the house on a Saturday afternoon.
Sure,
with the kids and everything, we would. So
for sure, and like you said, anything that's not preachy for me nowadays, especially because we've seen so many things push things on kids and a lot of these ideas that, like you said, like, it's, to me, that then just goes higher up on my list.
Well, it's always higher on my list when you just show people being naturally good people and just being accepting and non-judgmental and then not making an event of it. Like, what if we just show good people being good people in their natural environment?
Well, and even like with her, she did something dirty, to get the job that she got, but she didn't follow that up with also being crappy at that job. Right. She worked really hard at that job, even though she had no idea what she was doing.
Well, because she knew that she had like really done wrong by lying to get where she was. And you're right. That's a good point.
And essentially, she got that dude fired from his middle management position. So like that he was super
he was like, I've worked so hard to climb my way to the middle, to claw my way to middle
management.
That was hilarious. We all laughed out loud.
It was like, there were some really good moments like that, and there was some good comedy in it, and I definitely did laugh. I think it's a perfectly fine kids movie. It's
got a good message. It's not preachy. I mean, it's not a great movie. But,
it does its job.
It does. Like, for a kid especially.
Well, what about,
it hits all the points for the kids, really. As long as the kids enjoy it.
Kids are just, like, looking for something to entertain them, to enrich them for this artistic value, the music, the colors, all that.
The fart jokes.
The fart jokes.
And the butts.
The butts.
Yeah, that's what they want.
The butt cheeks.
Weird butt cheeks and farts. So. Yeah, is there anything else y'all wanted to touch on?
No, I really want to talk about that, so I'm glad we went into that.
Butt cheeks?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome. No, that's it. Sweet. I think I hit all the points.
All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to move into actual, like, the critics' thoughts. So we're going to check out the Rotten Tomatoes and see their thoughts on the old Tom and Jerry. And I have a feeling they are going to be very hard on this movie. I might have not even guessed low enough.
If it's in the 20s, I'll probably think that's
Remember when I said that?
What
Yeah.
Oh, yo.
And look, you were...
Oh my god!
You didn't-
Are you
That's really
kidding
funny.
me?
I was almost spot on. I was far as
Oh, yeah.
Delta is insane.
Yes. So, God, yeah.
Yeah,
Welcome to the show.
What we're seeing,
God.
to clue you in,
Yes, so that
the
you're not
critics are at 25%.
And the audience,
the audience
is at 85.
Is at 85. That's a huge gap. And this is not uncommon. And I literally said right after I guessed my numbers that were too high, basically this was going to happen. I had a feeling, man. I know how they do. I know how they be doing.
That is from 71 critics, which is
it's not
significantly lower, but it is a kids movie.
But that means that 71 critics are pretty opinionated.
Yeah, average higher end. We've gotten around like 300.
Yeah, normally it's right around 300.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now this is a relatively low audience as well.
But they keep doing this plus thing, and I feel like all of them have
weird.
been right around 500 plus that we've done
500 plus
the past 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that. Which most of the stuff has been streaming lately, so it is a weird thing. We've seen them change this website even since we've been doing this though as well over the past little bit. So
click on some of their. I want to know what they're saying.
So also they have been giving a critics consensus and an audience consensus. They didn't do that this week, but the critics consensus says it isn't the worst of the long squabbling duo's feature-length adventures, but Tom and Jerry is disappointing, short on the anarchic spirit of their classic shorts. So
short on the anarchy, says the critics.
Yeah,
Not enough chaos and despair.
Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah, so
Imagine
you just
that.
wanted more from Tom and Jerry fighting,
Yeah,
which
you
honestly
just
that was like
wanted
my
more
least
conflict.
favorite part
Yeah.
of
Right.
it.
I liked it the best when they were
Because you're a
getting
good
along.
person. It's
Oh,
all right.
okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Whoops.
I was going to make a joke. I'm not going to make
I
it.
couldn't say what I was going to say either.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not going to make it. I
Yeah.
could, but we're on YouTube. And we're trying to see how long we can last. So, Sid, you want to read what Adam Graham? So, Adam Graham from Detroit News actually liked this, and he's a top critic.
Your glasses are over there, by the way.
You want to read?
No, it's fine. I'm good. I just got to take off my water bugs.
What he had to say?
Waterbugs.
Yeah. Okay, so the bright, colorful Tom and Jerry brings the cartoon duo into the real world. And even if it never amounts to much more than a series of escalating hijinks, I used that word earlier. It provides a fair amount of laughs outside the antics of its namesake duo.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure that sentence is worth saying. Like, if Tom,
I can agree with that.
outside
I totally
of the,
agree with it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like it's not all. I mean, it's what you're going for a Tom and Jerry movie. Like, it's not much more than. I mean, I guess it is kind of more than a series of escalating hijinks.
Yeah.
Like, there's still the backstory outside of the duo, but that's a solid tomato. So I mean,
Okay,
he's
so
saying it's a good thing.
He's just saying that it, like, at least the laughs outweigh the, like,
Yeah.
Shenanigans.
the shenanigans.
Oh, and honestly, if you think this one's in the weeds, you should see some of the stuff we read that these people say. So, and technically, he gave it a B- out of a whatever.
Out of 100.
Yeah, a B- out of 100.
That's how the scaling works.
Without a doubt. So Eric Adams gave it a splat. So the last one was a solid tomato, and I think what he had to say, set pretty well with what we had to say. So Eric Adams, though, with AV Club, said Tom and Jerry can't even let the cat and mouse escape from such bogus contemporary studio film standards.
What does that mean? You have literally told me nothing about the movie.
Yeah. ...
We are all dumber for reading your comment.
Yeah, I just don't really.
I think he's just calling it basic.
He is calling it basic while not saying the words basic is what he's doing. And I mean, I guess, like, I get that. Like, it wasn't perfect, but, like, like we've said, like, this movie wasn't made for adults necessarily. Like, and clearly it wasn't full of a bunch of adult humor and things of that nature. So
Yeah.
it wasn't. So, Sid, you want to read what Tracy Brown had to say? This was another splat from the LA Times.
If you're in the mood for this flavor of cartoon violence, you're better off hunting down the classic shorts or episodes of Tom and Jerry's past TV shows. So Tracy just
prefers the originals.
The originals.
And I mean, I can understand that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not necessarily shaming for that. Like this,
I'm not saying that this movie is better than the original cartoons.
No,
by any
nobody
means.
would.
It's different.
Yeah.
It's a totally
just
different vibe.
thing. So yeah, so that was 2 splats, 1 solid. Maybe read one more solid one here. This isn't one of their top critics, but definitely another critic here. This is Jan Kaplan? Jean Kaplan. And she says, it is not one of those family films that will delight both children and adults alike. However, the kids will find it to be entertaining enough. And there
you go, Jean.
Like, Jean knows what's
what
up.
a nice lady.
Kaplan and versus Kaplan.
Yep, and
She's
she
fighting
looks
herself.
nice. She got a little picture there too. She just looks like a nice,
She's
sweet
a
lady.
Nice lady.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, and that's the thing. She took into consideration the fact that kids are watching this.
Yeah, it's
What
not...
does Chris Stuckman say?
Chris Stuckman.
Go up.
Oh, this is someone with ChrisStuckman.com.
People name things about
Chris,
themselves a lot.
Read that.
Because my name's Chris.
I would love if movies like this respected
Thanks,
children. He says, I would love if movies like this respected children, if they seem to even remotely care about children and not pander to them or treat them like idiots.
What are you talking about, Chris Stuckman?
Dude.
Do you have children, Chris Stuckman?
Chris
Please
Stuckman,
email us.
Chris Stuckman, kids are idiots. And that's why they love it.
That's a fact.
They're the second stupidest people other than birds.
That's very true.
It's true.
What are you talking about, Chris Stuckman? Please email us and tell us what you're talking about.
And just because these people were aware that kids are idiots does not mean that they do not like or love them.
Can you even pander to kids?
No.
Like, isn't
No,
like,
because they're idiots.
they're dumb. And also, that's like what it means to like be playing with kids.
That's
like,
the best part of being a kid is that you don't have to care. You can be dumb and it's
if you treated
okay.
an adult like you treat a kid, it might be considered like pandering.
Right. Yeah.
Like, oh.
Yeah.
They're
true.
They are blessed without all of our knowledge. Like,
God.
with the little bit that we have.
Chris Stuckman, Waterbugs. I can't.
Yeah. You just got
Putting them back
waterbugged.
on.
You got Waterbug, Chris Stuckman.
You got waterbugged.
We need like a air horn, right?
Yeah. Get out of
Waterbug.
here.
Please email us.
Yeah, he won't.
He won't.
So yeah, I mean that's what you're gonna get from the critics. Pretty predictable. Them acting like adulty adults, not understanding how to talk about a kids movie.
Yeah.
Really, like
If I find out he has kids, I really want to. Like, I'm going to stalk him now.
We'll just stop right there.
Please don't.
No.
Whatever you're gonna say from here, don't say it.
I wanna
You're
know
on the
if he has
record.
kids because I want to know.
Nope,
like,
that's even worse.
how weird he is and how weird I
It's
am.
okay that she's saying it. If it was from us, it'd be even weirder.
Yeah.
So, yeah, actually, here's one. The Samuel dude with JVS Media and
Like it?
Productions. Yeah, he said, this was a fun family film that has an upbeat soundtrack. True. With campy yet tolerable human characters.
True.
That takes our beloved duo and gives you everything you love about them.
Also true.
And give it an 8 out of 10.
Samuel.
Sure, Samuel. Like, way to go,
Samuel.
bruh.
You
the
are
ideal.
on board with the audience. That
Yeah.
was 85%.
Right, exactly.
Samuel, you're a good egg.
Hey,
Yeah. He knows. Like, Samuel knows what's
Junior.
up. Yeah.
We don't know about Senior. He could be a terrible
don't
person.
know about
The junior. The junior's good stuff. Yeah. Yeah, that's the type of thing that you need to see from something like this. Not
like
just,
okay, this is a literal like no risk movie for your kids.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to learn anything bad. They're not going to get any like bad influences.
Yeah.
At the worst, they're bored with it.
And
That's
honestly-
the worst case scenario.
honestly,
which is
the
way
violence was
better.
cut back from how the normal show is.
100%. Yeah, because
Like,
it wasn't the
honestly
majority
better.
of it.
Yeah. So there's a cat hollering at us for the third week in a row. If you can hear him, it's outside. He's outside. But
Catch me outside.
yeah, so you guys think that's good?
Yeah,
we're
I'm
good. We're
happy.
covered.
I mean, I'm not happy with the audience.
No,
I mean, not
our
audience, but
critic
critics.
score. Yeah, I'm
I
not happy with that
personally
either.
have
It's
to
dirty.
pee, so I'm
oh,
good.
great. All right. So, well, then what we'll do is we can give you our send-off song. So if you don't know, we have send-off songs and we have a playlist. The link's going to be either in the YouTube video or actually, well, no, as well. We have a playlist now on YouTube. I need to keep that up. I've not been very good about it.
And Spotify.
I'm working on it. But the big thing is our Spotify playlist.
Spoofy.
That is kept up as well as our Spotify playlist. And we are on the season 2 playlist, not just our season 1 playlist.
Yeah.
And they're super legit, I have to say.
They are. It's pretty
they're
good.
real good playlists.
Yeah.
I'm kind of great with music.
Yeah. And then there's like Matt's like crazy metal like stuck in there.
But he's also
and
all over the place. I
Yes,
appreciate
Matt's all
Matt.
over- Oh,
I
I,
like
love
it
it.
too.
I
so
love
many
it.
ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
No,
love
I love
it.
it. I'm not hating. This is not hate on you, Matt.
Yeah, no. His music choices are unique.
They are unique.
And varied.
They are.
I enjoy that.
So, yeah, we're going to give you a send-off song, each of us, for this week. So, anybody got yours up? Ready to go?
I've got mine up.
I don't need to have it up. I'm
Go
just
ahead,
going to
Sid.
say I'm going with No Lives Matter by Tom MacDonald for the children.
Sure.
Wu-Tang.
Actually, I don't think there is any wordy-dirds in it.
Yeah, there might not be. Tom MacDonald is amazing.
He keeps it clean.
He keeps it as clean as possible because he has a message in his music, and he's trying to reach as many people as he can. So keeping it clean is in his best interest.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And No Lives Matter,
By
which
Tom MacDonald.
sounds a little clickbaity and a little bit
Risque.
risque, but it doesn't mean
good
what
way
you
to
think it does. So check it out.
Yeah. What you got, Chris?
I have, which I'm curious if this is going to be on there,
Yeah.
because I know some
You
of
can
them
get
I
some
have.
weird with some of your stuff.
It is a song by Matt Heckler,
Okay.
Matt-Heckler.
Yeah. Matt Heckler. Is it Blue Eyes Dancing?
No, Saint Tomas.
Oh.
And that's Tomas.
Huh. Interesting.
No H.
Tomas, like
Tomas.
Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, it's got a...
Plan that.
What is the name of it again? So
No,
this
I
is
didn't.
Matt Heckler,
Yeah, Saint Thomas.
St. Thomas.
So it's got a very Irish, jiggy kind of feel,
Yeah.
but also folky country. Like,
Awesome.
it's... If it's on there, is it on there?
Yeah.
Okay,
I got it.
good. All right,
Yeah, you're
perfect.
Good. Nice.
Get good.
So Matt Heckler.
Yeah.
And I got that added. So what I'm going to do is a song from Weezer from a couple years ago, actually. I'm pretty sure. And it's called I Love the USA. It's real good. Have you heard it? You know it?
Probably, but
It's really good. No, not like really old Weezer. This is maybe like 2 or 3 years old.
not
tops.
then.
It's actually really good. Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. It's about it's kind of about
about the USA.
about loving the USA. So
yeah.
yeah, it's a cool song. Like,
Spoiler alert.
yeah, spoiler. But yeah, so that's I Love the USA
It
by
is
Weezer.
a good one.
Yeah, I
Good
like
job.
it. It's not kid friendly, actually, though.
None of these are.
No, actually,
Mine
both
is.
y'all's were. Mine was not.
Okay, good
So
point.
sorry, but yeah, so that's that. As far as all that goes for this week, and I said it in the other podcast, didn't say it in this one, but please, guys, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Give the clicks down below if you're watching on YouTube, and subscribe if you're listening to a podcast. We love it, and we really appreciate it. We like to know that you're listening and who's following and all that fun stuff. And as usual, special thanks to Aubrey Troutman for doing our logo, and as well to Ketsa Music for doing our intro and outro song. And I did say outro song, Chris.
Proud of you.
Yeah, that's Ketsa Music, Ketsa, and so you can get music from him as well. He's got really good stuff. I actually put out. Well, you're not on Instagram. Do you follow him on Instagram?
Yeah.
Too? Yeah, he's been doing some really cool stuff lately. I really like what Ketsa does. It's all instrumental, but anyways, check out Ketsa Music, and that's basically it for this week. As far as next week goes, I mentioned to Chris earlier, I think we're going to do Chaos Walking, which is going to be in theaters. So Chaos Walking is starring Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley from the new Star Wars trilogy, and this is going to be an interesting sci-fi-ish type film. I don't know a whole lot about it because we don't know a lot about movies before we go see them, so I just know that it's a sci-fi-ish future post-apocalyptic kind of movie. So
Yeah.
it seems neat, and it's in theaters, and it might be at home. I don't know yet, so check that out as well. But we'll see you next week, guys. Thanks a bunch for listening. Bye.
See ya.